Hey everyone, this is Beth from Art by Bedell, and I am happy to announce that I have a new journal for you today. The paper play journal that I had introduced when I was choosing the papers that I was going to use that has the otter in it is now complete. So let's show you a flip through. Here we go. We have a fabric covered journal. And let's give you the specs on it first. It measures 6 inches by 9 3/4. That's the cover. The inside pages are 5.5 by 8.5. It has a 3.5-inch spine, and it is an open spine here. It has 160 pages and 3 signatures. There's a writing board, lots of journaling cards, tags, and dangles. The papers are book pages, music sheets, craft paper, lots of mixed media on the papers. Papers dyed with distress inks. There's some handmade papers, graph paper, vellum, ledger papers, envelopes, bag, and some original ephemera. So for our closure, we have some of the fabric, and then we have some large eyelets on a tab that I had made with fabric, and then I glued it to the inside, and then I also stitched it to give it some reinforcements. I have a vintage doily here on the front, and that's been stitched on here by hand for extra reinforcement and by machine along the edge here. On the back we have another one of those doilies and the same thing. Then we have this quilted band here that goes underneath, and it just adds a really nice decoration around the spine. The cover is made out of a bag that has been repurposed into a cover. We have it covered with fabric, some blue checkered daisy fabric, and the signatures are sewn right into the cover here. The inside is been covered with some more fabric that has more yellow on it than blue, and then it's been frayed and of course all stitched on. We have on the, let's see, how are we doing in frame? We have on the front cover a library pocket with a faux library card, and then this journal belongs to card here. Okay, and the library pocket is an original library pocket. We have papers out of books. This one is out of like a bird book here. And then this one is out of a child's book that has the otter in it. This one is the goose right here. We have some sheet music here. And then we have some copy paper that has been stained with distress inks here. On this little element that we have here, this interactive element, we have a little closure here that just flips open. This is some book binding from an old book, and this just opens up here, and this little tab opens up with some ledger paper that you can write on. Okay, and then that just closes back up. Then on the next page we have the flap from this that carries over to this page with a little tag that you can journal on the back, and then there's some more ledger paper here to journal on. This is some of the handmade paper, not by me, it's just some that I had purchased a long time ago. This is original ledger paper here, and then we have a little tab on the top with some of the paper. If you watch the video that I did with paper play, I had gone through my stash of papers, and I had pulled out a bunch and put it into an empty pizza box, and those were the papers that I was playing with. There's scraps of paper that I had been hoarding that I needed to get used up, and then there's lots of trim that matches too. So I can link that video so you can see the papers that I had chosen. And then I carried some of the fabric through the book. This one we have a pocket made out of original United States government paper here, and that made like a little tuck spot inside here for a journaling tag, journaling card with ledger paper on the back. And then we have this nice little bird here that came out of a bird book. And inside the pocket we have some ephemera, which is a receipt, and then an Erie Railroad Company track motor car lineup. And this is an original piece of ephemera here. And that's just tucked away inside our little pocket that we have here. And then this is the theme, the color theme is blue and yellow, and a lot of the copy papers are all done to look like this. This is my new line of eye candy that I have on my Etsy page, Tattered Journals, and I added it into the book here. You can go onto my Etsy page, and that'll be linked below also, where you can see these flowers. These were the stenciled flowers. And then this is my cleanup paper that I had have on my work surface, and then I made it into some mixed media paper for the journal. Just a little tab on top with some of the paper that I had chosen. I had some strips of coffee dyed paper, and I made a ruffle out of it and added some of our fabric and some faux ephemera here. And then this is another piece of the paper that I wanted to get used up. It's corrugated cardboard. It's a really nice, bright, shiny blue. It looks real pretty in here. And I just sewed that onto an envelope flap. This is a business, repurposed business envelope here with some ephemera, and inside is a journal card. That just tucks down inside. And then the bottom of the envelope folded up, which made a tuck spot on the other side with another journal card here. We have a side tab here with a dangle that has an angel on it. Kind of hard to see, I'm sure. And then some more book paper that had some native flowers. And it also had been stained with the distress ink. A lot of my items were machine stitched in, such as these two pockets. Again, that was made from some of that paper that I had been hoarding that I wanted to use up. Plus we have a couple of cards from a Rolodex file. Inside the pockets, I have a piece of coffee stained paper so that you can journal on. And you can also journal on this paper back here. We are at the middle of our first signature, and on my ties, I have included some beads. On the back of all these nice, juicy, yummy looking papers, you have lots of journaling room. Okay. And then on this paper, I have from 9 of Crones, I enlarged one of her cards that she had printed it onto a piece of vellum and used that as a flip here. This is some original ledger paper, and that's on a book page, and some craft stock card. Yeah, you get it. And then a little tag here in this pocket with some of the stitch paper that was in my paper that we were playing with. And then we have the envelope, and inside it is a big journaling card here. Some ledger paper on the back. And another little, I don't know whether it would actually hold anything as a tuck spot or not, but This is another line of flowers that I have that are new for me and my Tattered Journals Etsy page. And these are the hand-drawn flowers that have been watercolored. And this is, I'm just showing you here how you can use one. This pocket, made out of book paper, has 2 journaling cards in it. Here and here. The quotes and these little number tags and these labels here, when I do the pages separately for my Art by Bedell Facebook page, I will at that point link in the description what these papers, who these papers are from. The original ledger paper. And then up here we have another dangle with a polymer clay bead that I had made. And some sheet music and the book paper. And this is also some book paper, which I really loved. It's our library had a sale, and a lot of their books were 50 cents or $1. And this was a kid's book, but it was Japanese. And so it had like the splotches of color and some lines already on it, a little hand-drawn butterfly, just really cool paper for a journal. And the inside, I did a corner tuck spot with some cheesecloth that I dyed blue to match. And then on this tag, for the embellishments here and here, these are pieces of chipboard that I watercolored, and then I added sugar dust to it. Sugar dust is very, very fine beads. And then you can journal on the back of that. And here's our otter who has come to play with us while we're playing with our paper. And some more handmade paper. On this one, we have another bead dangle up here. And then I had taken some book paper and I had made a nest for my birds. And these are some die cuts here that I had used ultra thick embossing powder to get some texture to them. And we have another tag up top with some lace and some cheesecloth. Craft paper. This one I had a belly band. I had made several belly bands a while ago, and they were all dark, and I'm like, I'd really like to use those up. So I took some watercolor to them and really brightened that up, and then some gesso so I could use it in my book. And then I made a large journal card for this using several different pieces of paper. Here I used some more of that corrugated cardboard, and then there's room for journaling on the back. And this is another from Nine of Crones papers, little cards that she had that I enlarged so that I could print it on vellum and make a flip for it. And some more book paper here. This is a 3-pocket that has been made out of book paper. And I made my own flower with a strip of the paper that I had, that I was using up. And I used another piece of chipboard here. And then I added some of that sugar dust on top of the center. I also added some of the sugar dust along the edge of the cards. And then we have our 3 journal cards that pull out that has sugar dust on that also. And there's room for journaling on the back. And there's 3 cards here. And that's on some ledger paper. Here's another one of my flowers. These are with the stencil. And then on this piece, I have a tuck spot, and I made a little tag that you can journal on the back here. And then we added some lace that hangs out over the edge. some vintage lace. We are at the center of our second signature, and I have a couple more beads again. One is a paper bead. The other one is like a bone bead. And then we have a little cluster down here on the page. A little more. That's all glued down. And then in this corner tuck spot here, we have our papers here that we were using. And I made a acetate covered tag with one of the Tim Holtz papers here and stitched around it, and you can journal on the back of that. You can also journal on the page here. Some more of the paper ruffle with the fabric on it. On this one, I have a Tim Holtz clip here that holds on this floater that just hangs over the page. And on this side, we have a pocket that has a journaling card in it. And this is some original paper out of a little pocket calendar that is vintage. And that goes inside there. And then when you open this up, you can see the inside that has a little snippet here. And then when you flip it over, this is an envelope, business envelope that I repurposed again. And inside is another journaling card. There's a little bit of room for journaling on there. And then you slide that through and you can see the flower on the other side. And then when you open this up, you see the other side here. Okay, and so that just folds right over the top of the paper and clips back on with the Tim Holtz paper clip. Book paper. This is another one of the 9 Crohn's cards, and this is the original size before I enlarged it and printed it on vellum. And this is a little tuck spot. You get a hold of the paper there. I have an acetate tag that was pre-printed that I had left over from scrapbooking days, and I made a journaling card to put in there, again with some more of our metallic cardboard and a real pretty dangle on the side, and you can journal on the back. And that just tucks right inside here. Some more handmade paper, book paper, and the same as where we started with the book paper from a child's Japanese book. There's some of that writing there. And then the same tag with the sugar dust. This is a piece of original ledger paper, and I took a piece of banner and folded it in half, and that's what created this little tab on the top of our page. And we have a locket that is empty. It's for you to put a picture in. And then a butterfly tuck spot up here. And here's our otter back again. This is a pocket from book paper again. We have another die cut here. We have some of our little numbers here. And like I say, I'll list those all when I go through here separately, page by page, and put it on my Art of by B. Dell Facebook page. And it has a couple little journaling cards inside here. It has one here and then one in the back there. Handmade paper. We have a piece of vellum that I punched the edge with a punch, and then I embossed a dragonfly. And then I have a paper clip that has been covered with a dangle on it and with a little bitty tag that says made for you. And that's a hidden paper clip. And then it's holding on this doctor's card. It's not a doctor's card, it's an envelope. And I did some collaging on that, and it has a dragonfly brad on it. And then inside is a repurposed little tag. It's a to and from tag. It's a gift tag. And that fits down inside there, and it folds over the side of the vellum paper and gets held on with our paper clip. Okay, book paper, some more of our copy paper, another one of my flowers on some mixed media paper, and the flap from our bag. Usually I make something bigger here, and I thought I'm just going to leave the flap. I like that. And I had this tiny little envelope, and so I put some Tim Holtz tags inside it, and it looks pretty cute. And then on the other side, we have a butterfly. Another snippet for the side with our vintage lace of our paper. This piece of book paper, I have made a tuck spot with the negative of those die cuts I was telling you about, and that's here. And then we have a journaling card that gets tucked inside here. Another little tuck spot here up in the right corner. And then on this side, we have a paper pad that has been covered with some of our fabric and a piece of cardstock. And then on the inside, we have several sheets of writing paper for journaling on. And then our paper's down here below. Up here, we used a gold paper doily and some of our blue cheesecloth and made a little snippet on the top that carries over to the other side. Here I have an envelope that flips out, and I have a chipboard frame that is on top of one of those tags again, like a name tag, a gift card tag. And then inside is a journal card that says Inspire on it. And inside this little pocket is an itty bitty tag. On the other side, we have some vintage lace here, and this doesn't pull out, it's just a journaling spot. We have a tuck spot here with another bead. Here we have my tag by Corey Dahlman that I love so much, and I think it's about been in every one of my journals. And then it has a tag here, journaling on the back. Open it up and it has a little notepad here, mini notepad. Another tag for journaling on the back. And then a wee tiny little tag here. And then behind it is another tag here. I just love this. I think this is so precious. And then on the inside of the bag, we have a journal card. Now all these papers, most of all these papers have been watercolored with my Koi watercolors. Another piece of mixed media paper. Here's another one of my flowers, and it's on some mixed media paper, and it has some modeling paste on the back of it and different collage elements. Inside the tuck spot, we have a bigger journaling card with journaling space on the back, and that tucks down inside there. Some more book paper, another piece of vellum. It has a little vellum tag, and then on the back side we have a piece of acetate and an embossed flower with white embossing powder on some of that paper. And this is repurposed from a watercolor paper pad. Some handmade paper, a little tuck spot on top with a Tim Holtz flower, and this is another page out of that little pocket calendar that I had. And up on top we have a dangle with some more of that paper that we were trying to use up. And then our page out of our child's book, ledger paper, and then on the back side of our journal we have a writing board. And like I've stated before, I don't decorate it because I want it to be smooth so that when you're using it to write, it the decorations would get in the way. that completes our flip through of my paper play journal. I hope you enjoyed the flip through. I will begin posting, maybe even this as soon as this evening, I will begin posting the single pages on my Facebook page. If you're not a member, the link will be below for the Art by Bedell Facebook page. These little flowers seem to want to just keep getting wrinkled, so I think I'm going to add some clear glue to them to stiffen them up a little, because I don't want them to get ruined. These are Prima flowers, Prima marketing flowers, and I colored them with watercolor here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the flip through. Be sure to go check out the Facebook page, Art by Bedell, so that you can see close-ups of all the neat things that are inside this book. As you can see, there's goodies sticking out on the top of the book, the journal. There's goodies sticking out of the side. And then on the bottom, we have our dangles from our, right here, from our middle of our signatures. So thanks for watching. You have a great day, and we shall see you again over at the Facebook page. Oh, and this is available, will be available on my website, which is linked below, and my Etsy shop, Tattered Journals, which is also going to be linked below. Bye now.